AC, thanks for joining us. A very bad day at the office this afternoon here at Larkfield.
Yeah, one of the worst days at the office, I think, is probably fair to say. The thing that pains me the most about it is off the back of what was a good performance on Wednesday for an hour, and then we just gifted goals to Whitstable. We've done exactly the same today. We've gifted 4 out of the 5 goals that we've conceded, with some absolute shambolic defending. Overall, just our whole performance today was really, really bad. Feels like a really low point, to be honest with you, and I think it's come to the point where we need to freshen it up a little bit now. That's what we've just said as a management team, that I think we need to do something slightly different. That we're seeing the same mistakes that we're making over and over again, and it's extremely frustrating. And yeah, that's pretty appalling today.
Is it possibly about systems and personnel, which obviously managers and coaches always do? So it's refreshing to hear you be candid and say that. But is it also a bit about? I know you don't want to sort of talk about individuals because it's, you know, you win as a team, you lose as a team. We've made a good start in the league generally.
Yep. A
bit mixed in the cups, but there were positives from a heavy defeat to Whitstable. There aren't really anything. There isn't positive from anything today.
Yeah, I think that's a fair point. I can't think of anything that was positive. We didn't play any kind of football. We didn't get them turned. Anything we tried to do, they dealt with. The only chance we had was from their mistake when their left backs headed it past their keeper. I'm not sure how our striker, I'm not going to name him just to save him a bit of face, how he's not managed to score.
Yeah, we've missed an open goal.
Complete open goal.
Yeah.
We've just got to roll it into an open goal.
Kind of sums today up, really.
I think it did, but it was, as I said to you, it was clearly individual mistakes that cost us. And again, I'm not going to name those players because I just don't think it's right. I would love to, but they haven't obviously done it on purpose. But they just haven't met the standard that we need. And it was one player that made the same mistake twice with regards to clearances. Another player has made 2 other mistakes with regards to basically completely missing the ball in vital areas. And then they've scored one very good goal in the second half. But I don't know, it's formations. You can always argue about formations, but when players make individual mistakes like that, I'm not really sure what formations do to help that.
During the game itself, I know you did make changes,
yeah.
And we were more competitive in the second half, although Charlie still did have to make a couple of saves, and as you've touched on, where they made mistakes, we didn't punish them.
Yeah.
Did you think about the where we were going direct, and their 2 big centre halves, you know, seemed to just eat that up? Did you think about maybe changing that sooner, or because you made the changes at half time, to be fair? So.
Yeah, I felt like at half time we changed to 2 up, which we haven't done, and I thought we needed to then try and get the ball wide. We actually went to almost like a 4-1. 4-1-5, I think it was. It was just to have a go, but we didn't really get the ball wide, and it's quite a tight pitch here, and I don't think that helped us. But I can't remember us putting balls into the box. We never got them turned, and nothing really worked. So in the end, our shape was completely all over the place. Probably we've got people off the bench to get minutes, but at no point in the game did I think we was ever going to get back into it at 3-0, to be honest.
And seeing a pattern in these games where we've lost heavily, the collapse, is that where you're at with the concern and saying it now needs to be freshened?
100%. 100%. If personnel keep making the same mistakes over and over again, and that is now the 6th result where we've conceded 4 or more goals. I think we replied in one of those when we went 1-0 up against Faversham Strikeforce, but lost 4-1. But we've now just shipped 9 goals in 2 games in the space of 3 days, albeit against 2 very good teams. But I just felt like we made it so easy for them from minute whenever the first goal went in, and totally just caved again. So, as I said, it's something we need to address. We will be looking to freshen it up a little bit, so we'll see what we can do with that ahead of obviously what is a very, very tough game.
Yeah, I mean, onto that, and it's always part of the media work, the excellent work that Nick does, and the interviews you've done, and you know, you've consciously said to me, we have to do it regardless of how today has gone.
Yeah.
you've got a training session for the first time in a while before playing, arguably the best team at Step 5 in the country, where for an hour we were, and not just our own perspective, neutrals, Kent Football News covered it, Kentish Football, said that we should have been in that game, perhaps ahead before Whitstable scored, and then the collapse after. So, I mean, how do you approach training before the match, and how are you going to approach the match, do you think?
Yeah, training's going to be important. I think we looked very leggy, we looked very flat, so maybe a training session can help kind of revitalise that a little bit. I think we need to work on a bit of shape, particularly an attacking shape. Defensive shape, normally, when we defend well, is actually alright, which is crazy. But again, it comes back down to the point I made, is that you can work on everything. You can work on shape, you can work on pattern, you can work on tactics, but if individual players don't do what you ask them to do when they get on a pitch, it doesn't matter who's coaching you or whatever happens, it's unavoidable that we get punished for those mistakes, and fundamentally that then means that you have to change personnel, and that's where my head's at the moment. So we'll probably reset. We'll see if we can bring a few faces in this week, and then see what happens next week at Whitstable.
Yeah, trying to end on a positive. Lewis kept battling away up top and being a handful, which he has been against, as I say, two big, strong centre halves who looked tired from that battle despite their comfortable result. And the half-time change you made, AO coming on, he seemed to give a very professional and good account of himself to try and find a positive from today.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think Lou did keep trying, very isolated, but he does. He's obviously got a very bright future in the game, and that was a good battle for him. So it's all a good learning curve for him. I agree with you on AO. I thought he come on and looked good. We need to get some minutes in his legs and try and get his fitness up. I think Alfie did keep trying, a bit of a stupid tackle for a yellow card, which wasn't really necessary, but and Cam came on as well and tried. So look, they're small little positives that we will look at and obviously take into consideration, but very, very hard to find many other positives other than that.
All right, thank you, appreciate your candour as always, and good luck on Saturday away at Whitstable.
Cheers, thank you.